Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. About 10 minutes left in the program here, and it's time for another set of NFL draft team needs. Coming up at the end of this month, we will have all of the coverage of each and every pick of the 2023 NFL draft solely on the YouTube stream because, frankly, we could not do that show on FCC airwaves.
No.
It's always a great
Tangle
time.
will end up 4 domestic lights deep and sound like he's 40.
100%. It's the only way you can keep me excited about fifth-round draft picks.
There is a lot to be excited about in this draft.
Hence why Jeremy pours himself into all of the mock drafts. And again, just a reminder, 7-round mock drafts, team by team, going to start coming out on the YouTube channel this week. Now, the Los Angeles Chargers, what do they need to pick up in this draft? To me, it's got to be right tackle.
And see, I'm not as sold on that because I think Jamari Sawyer can play right tackle. He held up last year on the left side.
Okay.
Look, it is infinitely easier to find a guard than it is to find a right tackle. And we talked about this going in. Sawyer was a very malleable piece. I mean, I can't tell you he was great on the left side, but he was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Slide him over to the right. I feel like that gives you 4 of your 5 positions that are locked down. Now, would I like to have another piece? Absolutely. Because if something happens on the interior, Sawyer can slide in at guard. Now, if they fall in love with DeJuan Jones or Darnell Wright or one of those, and am I going to object to you doing that first round? No. No, it just depends. The Chargers are, to me, in one of the best shapes in the NFL because where you're picking, somebody is going to fall right in your lap that is really, really good.
They have the number 21 pick in the first round of the draft. So who's more likely to fall in their lap?
Well, they're going to have their choice of the tight ends. You probably won't get any of the ones you would want in the second round. So if you think that's as big a need as I do, look, I like Gerald Everett. He's fine. Comparing him to Michael Mayer or Dalton Kincaid, for me, even Luke Musgrave, yeah, there's no comparison there. A lot of Charger fans seem to really want another receiver, and I'm not – it's not that I don't understand why, because you've had injury issues with Mike Williams.
Mm-hmm. You got to have depth.
You don't appreciate Josh Palmer the way that you should. Top 10 receiver in the NFL, no big deal.
But even with Josh Palmer, you lose Mike Williams or Keenan Allen, and now Josh Palmer becomes your 2, which could work, but that means your 3 is who?
Well, and the thought process is that whoever it is would take over for Keenan Allen in a year. So, I mean, I've heard they like Jordan Addison. I've heard they like Zay Flowers. I'm not sure that this isn't a little high for either one of them. It may not be. I mean, it's not to me. It's just where can you get them? The player that I'm stuck on, and I've been stuck on the entire draft process, is Bijan Robinson. If he's sitting there when the Chargers come on the clock, now, do I think running back is their biggest need? No, I don't. But just think about the alternative. I mean, I feel like Austin Eckler is going to play one more year with the Chargers. I'm not sure they're ever going to be able to mend fences because Austin Eckler views himself one way. The Chargers view him the realistic way.
You mean the NFL?
No, I could see somebody overpaying him.
You think so? Okay.
I could see somebody overpaying. They're not going to give up they're not going to give up draft capital to get a running back to overpay them. That's where this kind of falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers have a realistic view of what Austin Eckler is. He doesn't run well between the tackles. I feel like if Bijan's on the clock, you have to. If you get on the clock, Bijan Robinson's on the board, I feel like you have to take it. Now, there's a great possibility he won't be.
I was going to say, I think that's a slim chance.
I don't. And it's seeming to be more and more likely as time goes on, unless somebody makes a move and winds up in a better shape than they're in.
Mm-hmm. Or will the Chargers make the move?
I don't think they would move up. There's too many players. Like I said, they're in the absolute catbird seat because virtually anything they could want and they feel like they need is going to fall right in their lap.
Mm-hmm.
Or works in the second round too. Because I feel like Gervon Dexter is good. I've had him with them for as long as I can remember. If they don't take him, it's going to be like Darnell Washington with the Green Bay Packers. I question everything about my life at this point. Because I feel like that's a big need. You need somebody that can stop the run. and be that big lane clogger. Now, if you want to take Mozzie Smith early with that first-round pick, I can't fault you for that. I don't know that that has the highest upside, but I definitely get it because that is a terrible position. And other than that, you don't have a ton of huge needs. I feel like J.C. Jackson can't be as bad as he was last year.
No.
It's not physically possible. He had the lowest PFF grade I think I've ever seen and didn't even play enough snaps to qualify.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of that had to do with missing time for injury, did it not?
It certainly did. I would like to have a linebacker later at some point in this draft because you did pick up Eric Kendricks. I feel like that's kind of a Band-Aid because this is a win-now team. I'd like to add another safety. That's a later need for me too, and this is a bad safety class. You're taking a no-doubt project late. But over the course of the 7 rounds of this draft, I want to see them add one of those high-level tight ends. I want to see them add to the front 3, 4, whichever way you want to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I need a run clogger. Want another piece on the offensive line. I think it's a tackle sitting behind Sawyer to where if he doesn't work out, you can slide him to the inside. You know you're good at guard then, and you can groom the right tackle. And then I want to add a receiver, a corner late, and another linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
This is a phenomenally talented roster.
The problem is they couldn't win games with it last year.
Yeah,
or
because
enough.
because you had a Lombardi calling your plays. You brought in a big boy offensive coordinator. That's going to help a lot.
Yeah, that and all the injuries did not help. But are they just the Baltimore Ravens West Coast?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm telling you, Kellen Moore had a lot of opportunities around this league. He was very sought after when the split came with the Dallas Cowboys. There's a reason he chose this roster. Kellen Moore wants to be a head coach in the NFL. There's a reason he turned down Boise State when they came calling. There's a reason he's turned down all of these different college opportunities. He wants to be a head coach in the NFL. If you make this work, you get this team into the playoffs, win a game, win 2 games, you're going to be a head coach in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you are going to see a very prolific offense. I think you'll see Justin Herbert take another step forward where he gets into that Joe Burrow conversation. Because I think Burrow's a step ahead of him right now. For me, it's more coaching than it is anything. I think talent-wise, they're pretty close. And then you just got to round off the defense. Good thing is that's why Brandon Staley that's why he became the coach of this team. He's a defensive guy. Now I think you have enough of a presence with Kellen Moore. He handles the offense. He handles the defense. We meet in the middle. I love this team. This is one of the most improved teams in the NFL to me.
It's a very vanilla draft for the Los Angeles Chargers. They have 1 pick in every round. And
that's fine. All you have to do is maximize the potential of the talent on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to do you've already spent the money. Now you just need to round it off with a few good draft picks, and to me, you'll be one of the favorites in the AFC.
We appreciate you for joining us here in the Sportsocracy on this Monday. We will be, of course, back with you tomorrow at 3 right here on ESPN Asheville.